For about 50 years, the Reliant Robin has been Britain's favourite punchline. The plastic pig, the car that falls over if you sneeze, Del Boy's van, 3 wheels and a national joke. And here is the thing nobody tells you. The people who actually bought one were not daft. They were quietly being some of the cleverest motorists in the country. They had spotted a loophole the rest of us missed, a perfectly legal trick that made this silly little 3-wheeler cheaper to tax, cheaper to run, and easier to drive than anything else on the road. So before you laugh at the Reliant Robin, stay with me, because by the end of this, you might just wish you had bought one. This is the car Britain mocked, and then went out and bought by the 100,000. Let's get the ridicule out of the way first, because it's earned its place. The Robin was 3-wheeled, with 1 wheel at the front and 2 at the back. It was a 1970s economy car that looked like it had lost an argument with a door frame. It became cultural shorthand for NAFness. Only fools and horses gave it folklore. And in 2003, Top Gear bolted the joke down forever, with Jeremy Clarkson rolling one over and over and over round every roundabout in Sheffield. By the time that clip had done the rounds, the verdict was settled. The Reliant Robin was the worst car Britain ever built, a tipping, wobbling embarrassment, the punchline to a joke about British engineering. Except almost none of that is true. And the man who rolled it has since admitted exactly how the trick was done. Here's what the joke leaves out. The Robin had 3 wheels for one very deliberate, very clever reason: money. Under British law, a 3-wheeler weighing less than 450 kilograms unladen wasn't classed as a car at all. It was classed as a tricycle, which meant it was taxed at motorcycle rates. For the Robin owner, that was a saving of around £55 a year over a conventional family car, at a time when £55 was real money. And it went further than tax. Because of that same classification, until 2001, anyone who had simply passed their motorbike test was legally entitled to drive a Robin. No full car license required. So here was a vehicle with a roof, a heater, a boot, and seats for the family that you could legally drive on a motorcycle entitlement and pay tax for the price of a moped. Then add the running costs. The 850 cubic centimetre Robin returned up to 70 miles per gallon. And the Robin landed in showrooms in October 1973, the very month the oil crisis sent petrol prices through the roof. While the rest of Britain panicked at the pumps, the Robin owner was sailing past at 70 to the gallon, taxed like a motorbike, insured like a motorbike, and bone dry. It wasn't a joke car, it was a loophole on wheels. And, for a working British family in the middle of a fuel crisis, it was arguably the smartest buy in the country. And Britain knew it. Reliant built around 140,000 Robins across its life, and the Robin name ran in one form or another from 1973 all the way to 2002. This was not some cottage curiosity knocking out a handful of cars. At its peak, Reliant was, by some measures, the second largest British-owned car manufacturer in the entire country, behind only the giant that was British Leyland. People laughed at the Robin in public and bought it in private in their tens of thousands year after year, because the company behind it knew exactly what it was doing, and it had been doing it for 40 years. Reliant was born, quite literally, in a back garden. In 1935, a man named Tom Williams, who had worked for the Raleigh Bicycle Company until Raleigh gave up on 3-wheelers, decided the lightweight 3-wheeler still had a future. He set up in his own garden in Kettlebrook, Tamworth. On the 1st of January 1935, he completed his first vehicle, He called it simply the Reliant. And Reliant became a genuine pioneer in one thing above all: fiberglass. By 1956, they were building car bodies entirely out of it. Light, cheap, easy to mold, and, crucially, impossible to rust. When it came to styling the Robin, Reliant turned to Ogle Design, the studio of Tom Caron, the same man who shaped the wedge-like Bond bug and, believe it or not, the Raleigh Chopper, the bicycle every British child of the 70s begged their parents for. One designer, three of the most distinctive shapes of the decade. So let's go back and deal with those two jokes, because both of them are wrong. First, the Top Gear rollover. For years, that clip was treated as proof that a Robin would tip over at the slightest provocation. Then, Jeremy Clarkson himself came clean. In his own words, "A normal Reliant Robin will not roll unless a drunken rugby team is on hand, or it's windy. But I'd ask the backroom boys to play around with the differential so that the poor little thing rolled over every time I turned the steering wheel." It was rigged. The differential was modified, the front wheel enlarged, and the whole thing engineered to topple for the cameras. A standard Robin, driven normally, simply doesn't do that. And here's the kicker. Clarkson liked the car so much that when he and the others later set up their own production company, he went straight out and bought one as the company car. And the second myth, Del Boy's van. Everyone calls it a Reliant Robin. It isn't. The Trotter's three-wheeled van in Only Fools and Horses was a Reliant Regal Supervan, a 1967 model, registration DHV 938D. There is no Robin in Only Fools and Horses. The most famous Robin in Britain was never a Robin at all. So what killed it? Not the jokes, the Robin survived those for decades. What killed it was that the world quietly caught up. The loophole that made the Robin so clever slowly closed. Ordinary small cars, the Mini, the Metro, a wave of cheap, economical super minis, got better and cheaper until the tax trick just wasn't worth the missing wheel anymore. Safety expectations rose, the image never recovered. And one by one, the reasons to buy a three-wheeler disappeared, even as the reasons to laugh at one stayed exactly where they were. Reliant marked the end with a final special edition, the Robin 65, a 65 runout that sold for around £10,000 each. UK production wound down in 2001 with a tiny license-built run of around 40 cars limping into 2002. And then it was over. The joke, it turned out, outlived the economics that had ever justified the car. And here is the last irony, the one that sits right at the heart of this channel. We have spent whole videos on the British cars that rotted away. The Morris Marina, over 1 million built, just 32 still licensed. The Allegro, 17. The cars Britain took seriously dissolved into the tarmac within a decade. The Robin couldn't. That fiberglass body, the cheap, mocked, plastic pig body, simply doesn't rust. Today, DVLA figures show just under 400 Reliant Robins left in Britain. And here is the tell. 3/4 of them are registered off the road under SORN, tucked up in garages, kept rather than driven. The car Britain laughed hardest at is now the one people quietly preserve. A good one will cost you more today than it did new. So they laughed at Britain's three-wheeled car. And the people who bought one paid less tax, used less petrol, drove it on a bike license, never had to weld a rusty sill, and now watch their joke appreciate in a heated garage. Who's laughing now? So that's the Reliant Robin. Not the worst car Britain ever built, possibly one of the cleverest things a skint British family could buy. 3 wheels, no rust, motorcycle tax, and the last laugh. Did your family have a Robin, or a Regal, or a Rialto? Were you brave enough to admit it? Let me know in the comments.